a good morning to you. Welcome to Asake Online. My name is Zanu and this is the Breakfast Club. 20th of January 2023 marks exactly 40 years since the Gukurahundi genocide happened. On this day in 1983, the Zimbabwean government deployed the 5th Brigade, which was known as Gukurahundi, in the provinces of Matabeleland North initially, and then it spread to much south and Midlands. By 1987, more than 20,000 people had been killed, and these were mostly innocent civilians, and thousands more had been disappeared, and no one knows what happened to them. A lot more people were traumatized, injured, women were raped, and over the years, the government of Zimbabwe has denied that it killed people. They still deny that it was a genocide, and they've always said they were dealing with the problem of dissidents. ZAPU, which was the political party or the opposition party, then wanted to overthrow the government, and all these excuses. We know there have been efforts to try and solve or at least talk about the issue of Gukurahundi for many years, and nothing has succeeded. And recently, the president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, officiated at a ceremony where the chiefs were given, could I say, power, or launched a program to go to the communities and talk about the issue. Still, very little has happened. They have not started having these meetings. Young people were born when this happened, are turning 40 this year. They are now adults. And they always hear these stories, the stories of how their parents were raped. And of course, some of the people who were born out of rape at that particular time are now 40 years. And they still don't know who their fathers are. And probably they have not heard the full story of what happened. And today in our program, we'll look at the Gukurahundi genocide. Last year, we worked on a documentary where we talked to a number of people who were affected by the genocide. And the documentary, titled "We Will Crush Them," talks about this painful episode in the Zimbabwean history, which the government of Zimbabwe has not sufficiently acknowledged, and they still try to find reasons why they should not publicly acknowledge and also offer an apology. So I hope you are going to learn a lot from this documentary, because I can't say enjoy it, because there is nothing to enjoy, because these are people talking about their painful experiences when it comes to Gukurahundi.
The dissident party and its dissident father are both destined not only for rejection, but for utter destruction as well.
Ubaba nguye waqalisa ukubulawa ngesikhathi segugurawundi, waba nguye waqala first person ukuthi kubonakala ukuthi abantu laba babulala baqala ngaye. Lo mama la ukuthi asurvive wakuswa ukuthi wayelishona. Ngawe wayengasoshona, anthemba ukuthi lami impilo yami ngangikhona.
Babiza umkami sihlezi lapha. Bambulalele eceleni kwehadi. Omunye wayekhuluma laye, omunye ekhombele eceleni kwekhanda lakhe. Kwaphuma ukuthi khu sambone siwa, thina bazange besishaya.
Bathi wena ngena, lawe ngena. Wangena abantu abangu-5 igodi labe seligcwele. Baqamba lo baba kwathiwa lawe ngena. Laye wangena kwathiwa wena lala unqumise so. Babachaya nje bonke tha.
If you liquidate ZAPU, if the word liquidation means bringing to an end something, then it means you have no problem of dissidence.
Kodwa lizobuya awuyeyeni bo lizobuya noma kanjani vele lizobuya.
Ibizo lami nguSinothando Moyo. Mina ngafelwa ngubaba ngimncane kakhulu nge2 years. Ubaba nguye waqalisa ukubulawa ngesikhathi segugurawundi, waba nguye waqala first person ukuthi kubonakala ukuthi abantu laba babulala baqala ngaye. So ndisizi kakhulu impilo yami ngikhule nzima kakhulu. Ansafundanga. Babethi kubo mama bazaba compensate ababafundisela abantwana. esafundanga saphila nzima kakhulu vele kakhulu. Lo mama la ukuthi asurvive wasurvive kuswa ukuthi wayelishona. Ngawe wayengasoshona andithembi ukuthi lami impilo yami ngangikhona. Ngoba vele babefuna ukubulala bonke labantwana. Amboni ukuthi umama ngawe wayengasoshona vele ngaba labantwana lathi ngasikho ngabe ngoba basithi wolela konke thatha konke uyekuthululela endlini kuphela. Umama wasesizwa ukuthi wayelishona wayebatolekela ukuthi hayi namhlanje kunje wasesizwa ikokonuku ukuthi wayelishona base bemdonsele umama wayezithwele isithwele isisu somnawo wami wayelandela mina. Babefuna ukuthi bamdabule vele bakhiphe umntana edistance bamjikelele khatshana le. So hayi impilo yami yabanzima kakhulu. Lo mna wami yena lo wasalezalwa kwabanzima kakhulu. Hayi ngicabanga ukuthi hayi laba bantu ababulala ubaba hayi vele ngiyababona ngaba vele lami ngiyababulala. Kwakuthiwa ngukesarimo wahamba walwela impi. Wahamba wakolwela impi.
Okuqase ngabo-10 kuthe ngabo-3 ngama-2-4 babe besithatha sonke. Basithwala basihambisa kwenye indawo kwakuthiwa kusedamu lapha babeyikhempe khona bona. Kodwa sisafikanga phakathi kwabantu. Bafika basihlalisa nje kwenye indawo khonapho kwakulabanye abantu labo khonapha babechayiwe abanye sebefile. So abantu labana bathe befika ngokunjalo vele obamncane babengasakwanisa ukuhamba kambe uqalise ekuseni ukuchaya. Vele bengasahambi. Mina ngesikhathi beba khonapho sebengani sesile damu bakhipha nje babelezi ngqamlezane zazinkulu. So bathi bathi ubamncane ngakuwa mina yabo omunye la wabe ekhahlela mina yabo omunye wabe ekhuluma ishona futhi la kuqala ishona sasingakasazi nje akathesa ukuthi sesimix labo sesidopa kuqala vele thina abantwana bemakhaya ishona sasingasazi. So okuthi lwana omunye kumbe wayesitekela umntwana kumbe wayesithina ngazi yabo angakhala khonapho babe suka khonapho kwakulabanye nje engangabazi basukela ke labana babachavela obamncane loba babe sebebachaya babengasabongoleli njalo khona babekwenza singale ekhaya ngoba bebachaya bebongolela sithe singale vele babengasabongoleli ukuthi vele abantu labana babe sebechaye kakhulu. Khonapho ukuthi kwathiwa abanye khonapho ababe sebechaye kodwa bona besesengcono babethi gebhani igodi babegebha igodi labana abanye abangu-2 abanye abafana abangu-2. Bathe besuka lapho obamncane babe lapha kulabanye futhi abangu-2 lalaba futhi abangu-2 sebengu-3 kulalaba futhi abanye abangu-2. Bathe beqeda lapho babethi labana sebegebhile vele futhi babe agebha ngokuyanga. In fact vele kumbe babe ngama lapha egodini lelana ngoba lami nganzanse umntwana vele ngingakahlukanisa ukuthi umuntu nxa elahla igodi kumele libe nganani. Kodwa kathesi nxa sokubuya kimi ngendlela ukuthi labana abantu babegebhe vele babekhanya konke lokho. Bathe beqeda lapha ubamncane wathi ngicela amanzi. Abazange bethande ukumnika wona amanzi lawo. Bathe beqeda lapho babethatha labana abanye abafileyo labana abangu-2 babe bebaphushele babesithi kulabana debegebha babethi libaphushele bekhuluma ishona ukuthi nje lathi sasibona nje ukuthi ngoba babe sebebadonsa bebafaka egodini ongakuthi bathe khona bephushele egodini. Bathe beqeda lapho ubamncane babe sakhangela ubamncane waphinda futhi wathi hayi into engicela amanzi. Vele abazange bethanda ukumnakekela umama lokho ehleli khonapho kwekuseni umntwana akajintshwa nganapkin kayenziwa ngani. Ubamncane baqala ngalo omunye bamphushele egodini. Lo omunye wazathi ha kunani ukuthi lisidubule kulokuthi linjani lisifake isiphila uyabo. Babe minyathela ngejambo la entanyeni enjalo selele phansi. Umama wabehlaba umkhosi babelanda umama bemshaya ngempama. Umama wajeka soyiphethe umntwana. Mina ngathi sembona ukuthi umama sekhala kakhulu vele live vele sokuthi nxa umunyisa lobuhlungu lani mina ngabe umama engithi so ngabe ngithatha umntwana uyabo. Bathe sakhangela ukuthi kumbe lo bazamchiya ubamncane kwaba into efananayo futhi la babe emdonsele njalo ephila. Bathe beqeda lapha babe sithi laba kade begebha igodi babethi omunye kame ngapha omunye eme ngapha. Lowana omunye umsotsha babekhuluma sishona sabo, omunye wabesuka esiyamuva kolwa, omunye wabesuka esiyamuva kwalwana. Bathi pha kulwana, lathi sayithuka futhi sokukhalana. Ukuthi khwaphana kwethukeni kwethu njengami nxa ngicabanga ukuthi vele angicabangi kahle ke lapho indaba lana yahamba njani. Kodwa okusalayo ngibona ngani lami ngawela phansi ngaleso sikhathi sokukhalana umbhobho. Ukuthi kwayenzakalani ke khwaphana, kodwa ngithe sengiphaphama kulapha ngathola labana futhi labo labana debegejisa igodi sebedujulelwe bawela phezu kwabo obamncane belokho benjalo benjani bephila bona. Ngoba bathi sebewelelwa engakubona ubamncane wathi so isandla lwana omunye nje odujuliweyo wayesemnyelekile so legazi livuzela phezu kwakhe. So ngabona isandla nje sisithi bathe besuka lapho babe besiyathatha abantu ngale lapha ababehlabelisa khona. Kwabe kubuya abanye ubaba abangu-3. Bathe bebuya ubaba labana abangu-3 babethi kababagqibele benjalo belokhu benjani bephila.
Funa ukukhuluma engikwaziyo iGukurahundi yaqasa 1983 mina ngangifunda grade 7 la. Kwakulezi abantu bebulawa amasosha ekhona ebulala abantu. Azasifinyelela lathi njengemuntu. Sanyamalelwa ngabazali abangu-2 ngesemnight. Abazali laba banyamalala okokuthi la namhlanje singeke sichuthi ithambo lakho nalila. So ke mina okwangikhathazayo okungikhathaza la khathesi kumbe ngithi isifiso nje ngilaso. Ngithemba kancane sithi isifiso sami silocala nje. So ngingathi isifiso sami ukuthi ngibone nje amathambo. Lathi sizibekela wethu amathambo kuphela. Ngiyakwazi ukuthi abantu babulawa. Bebulewe azange satshengiswa lethambo lapho lapha abakhona. Esami isifiso ukuthi lathi sithatha wethu amathambo.
Kwakudingwa mina. Aswelekala ngibuye ema-ofisini. Ayazi yaphela lapho inkatho yakhona. Babuya futhi kimi. Sasidlala ibhora nje siphandle leclub yenkuba lapha. Abazongithatha khona phayana. Ilanga lathi siyatshona lapha. Babuya lami enkayi. Sebebuye lami enkayi la. Afika ngakhutshwa isicathulo ngakhupha iwatch. Ngalobo busuku ngangihamba sibili. Kwapho kufika nje umye uphazi lwafikayo. Ngakhululwa ngabanye amadoda ababengazi ukuthi hayi ngangekho kuleso sika sondoda owabulawayo enkuba. Semphumile lapho kwahamba insukanyanyana bazodlula esikolo enkuba lapha. Thengabe bafuna ukuchapha inkuba ngokwakhe isifudlana lesiya. Imoto yabo yapantsha khona. Isipantshile imoto babuya kimi bezofuna i-wheel span lejeki. Hayi ngabanikeza. Hamba ngalapha imoto yabo ipantshile khona. Kanti intonswa ukuthi ngiyebona imfihlo. Now ngazothola ukuba sengilapho khona umnye wangihawukela nje ukuthi uyabona hlala khona sikuthatha lapha wawuselistini le ngawusentabeni kaTom lapha lawo. It was a counter book. Yilibizo lakho leli yimi. Lo mbali angumnewethu. Wena. Sufile lamhla. Wathatha irula wathi thwe. Wathi phezu kwebizo lomfowethu thwe. Wathi uzathatha leli bhuku leli wena wafa. Mina ngazwa ukuthi ngafa.
At the outbreak of the problems that were in Matabeleland, we initially reacted to the problem as a simple problem of law and order, and we sent the police units there. But because of the pattern of organization involving both the ex-Zebra dissidents the political infrastructure, we got to a position where it was realized the police alone were being ineffective. We therefore decided to reinforce the police with units of the Zimbabwe National Army.
Fights between the Zimbabwe People's Revolutionary Army, ZIPRA, and the Zimbabwe African Liberation Army, ZANLA, date back to the 1970s when the two liberation movements clashed in Morogoro, Tanzania, and in Mozambique during the attempt to form the Zimbabwe People's Army, ZIPA.
There were a lot of arguments. There was no concentrated argument. The people argued on food, or people argued on training, or people argued everything. As long as it is done by a ZIPRA, ZANLAs will not be careful, will not agree with it. And what I discovered is that mainly, of course, people will say because I was a ZIPRA, but there was no instruction from the ZIPRA side to hate ZANLA because I was there. But the way the ZANLAs hated us, you could see with this thing, these people have got instruction. Plus, the setup in ZIPRA, as you know, ZIPRA was commanded by ZAPO, and the ZAPO was a mixture of Shona and Ndebele people. There was no room to exercise tribalism. But there was room to exercise tribalism in ZANLA. Because you know, even if how hostile you are as people, there are some light moments one day or and so forth where you could talk. They could tell us point blank, good gentlemen, you are very stupid. When we go home, if we win, we will kill you. You people, you will die. But if you win, you people, let's suppose Zapo wins, and Zapta is beaten, you will do nothing to us. Look at your leadership. Those are our brothers, fathers, and uncles. They will never kill us. Can you not see this? You see.
The camp commander there was Makasha. A guy called Ntakura Makasha. That guy was like, I don't know. But then, with us then, we were from Morogoro, so it was like, we were really raw. And we didn't sort of intimidate easy. I tried everything, but we couldn't intimidate easy. One ball of contention came about when I was instructed to be a training officer and train a group of women and men, a group of about 200 people were to be trained. So on the training, Ambrose Mtiniri was the chief of training for the whole of ZIPA. And then during that course, maybe on or about towards 2 weeks training, the commissar, who was the commissar of the camp, started saying, yeah, you basikana imi makupisira maningi. Mnotunga kudzimba muendi. Say, why don't you go to the rooms? Makuda kurogwa manje. You see, muri kupisira stereki. Because they were supposed to be instructed to go to houses, Zema chef, and a punch-up got in when one of the guys said to us, "Mnofanda kudzidza shona. Tikuenda kuma operations, saka mnofanda kudzidza shona." And we said, "Get away with that. I'm not going to follow that one up." So they tried to be funny, and a kitchen, we destroyed the kitchen, took the blocks as a kitchen, and hammered them too good until they left the kitchen. And then now we have to deploy at the Ipafure River, at the junction of Papule, the Mbombo River. We have to deploy there to start off opening up there. So as we are going for deployment, that poor guy, it's just a few days, maybe 4 to 5 days since we got armed. And that poor guy again goes up on a student and says, yeah, me my comrade says, and I'm not being, not some hysteric. You make me very angry. Because my push hysteric. Munora hysteric. Put the thing Zagasakara so, because my zebra, I would do my usiku magarara in him. What do I put the thing? When the Nazo Gumusha, one of Chera Davo, Zavaka Cherera Gumusha, boy, I will change right put. That's why I put the thing Zagasakara, so he put the sharu. You know? Gaza province has never been operated on. But how come you can tell them, Guti, Masipra, Bani put it, Avaruno Cherry, one no terra Gumusha, one of Tora Tenuan, one of the Monoputino Tavo Shar, because the Munora Rastere. In other words, he makes them think that is also we are doing some night work. So, Munoto, the guy sleeps with his rifle held strongly.
Zimbabwe gained its independence in 1980, and the newly independent country had the onerous task of unifying the three fighting forces, ZIPRA, ZANLA, and the Rhodesian troops into one national army. From day one, ZANU feared that ZIPRA would not accept Mugabe's rule. Immediately after independence, there were cases of violence where ZANU youths attacked ZAPU supporters, and it was clear that ZANU was itching for a fight. By April, year-on-year statistics on crime showed that incidents of violence had doubled. From March to April 1980, over 2,800 people had been arrested for criminal cases such as theft, assault, and abduction. 80% of the offenders were ZANLA personnel, yet this did not stop ZANU politicians from blaming ZAPU. In 1980, Robert Mugabe went on an official visit to North Korea and signed an agreement to have a brigade loyal to him and the party trained. Mugabe called it the second victory of the revolution. On August 8, 1981, 106 Korean army personnel arrived at the then Harare International Airport. They headed to Inyanga in the Eastern Highlands to train the 5th Brigade. On 28 August 1981, Robert Mugabe said the 5th Brigade would deal ruthlessly with dissidents and subversive elements. That statement left little doubt why the brigade was formed. Mugabe was already preparing for genocide only a year after independence. The ZANU win in 1980 stunned apartheid South Africa because they expected at West a Joshua Nkomo-Abel Mzorewa alliance. The South Africans wanted to prevent the African National Congress and its armed wing, Umkhonto weSizwe, from establishing a rear base from which to attack their country. They fomented instability in Zimbabwe by driving a wedge between ZAPU and ZANU. The policy to destabilize Zimbabwe by the South African Defence Forces was codenamed Operation Drama. Special forces working on this project came up with Project Barnacle, a top-secret organization whose objectives were elimination and intelligence gathering. In April 1980, Mugabe told P. van Vuren, the South African representative in Harare, that there would be no armed Umkhonto weSizwe cadres stationed in Zimbabwe. A very disturbed Mugabe was told by intelligence that there were 87 MK cadres at the Zezani assembly point, and for this he blamed Nkomo and ZIPRA. He said his relationship with ANC was distant and that he did not want the South Africans to think he was misleading them.
The idea of the arms cache, the big arms caches, came out as a result of the insinuation by CIO. In all the camps, even the ZANLA camps, almost all the camps, when the guerrillas were told to surrender their weapons, there were small arms caches that were hidden by the guys within the areas where the camps were. So it was not only in the case of Zipra. And the CIO guys then took advantage of this. And they actually went to one of our camps without the Zipra commanders' knowledge, and spoke to the commanders, for instance, of they knew the biggest arms storage was in the Kwai River mine, because most of the arms that came after our guys were in were stored, were sent for storage, including the ammunition at the Kwai River camp, assembly camp. And they went to the commander there. And they said, Osoneni Moyo, and told Soneni Uti, you know, you guys are stupid. The amount of arms that Zandla has hidden away, you know what the idea is. Once everything has been sorted out, these guys are going to go for you. They've already dismissed a number of you from the camps, from the battalions that have been formed.
I understand where Mugabe came from. There must have been a collusion with the South Africans, because anyone who tells me Mugabe didn't sell to the South Africans is all a complete lie. Mugabe sold because he spoke to the South Africans. I was in Zezani myself, and I write it in this book, that when I was in Zezani, Dumiso gave me a call and said, and can you please take out, if I'm not wrong, he gave a figure, it's still as vivid to me today, gave me a figure, and he said, can you take out those 25 ANC cadres who are in that? But what he was counting on is there were cadres who were in prison here, who had been arrested in the 65, 67, the wars of 68. They had been locked up in Kano. When, after the election, they were released, those people. And when they were released, where could they have gone? Either CIO or somebody, or South African intelligence, I don't know who, but somebody suggested you go to Zezani. And they came to Zezani, and we took them because I had ANC cadres. What should I had to take them off the field, because if anyone remained in the field was going to be shot. So I brought them into the camp. So here I have Dabema phoning me and telling me a number I didn't have. No, when I say I didn't have, I had bigger numbers than what he was telling me. And I can't argue with him over the phone. So I said, that's okay. I took the instruction that I was going to remove the ANC case.
The integration process seemed to go well until November 1980, when there were clashes between Zandla and Zipra at Ntumbane and Chitungwiza. In February 1981, clashes between Zandla and Zipra broke out again in Dabazinduna and spread to Ntumbane, Connemara, and many other camps across the country.
These things were still boiling up. Soldiers were getting angry and angrier as time went on. And especially when they talked, even rallies, and talked bad about ISAP and Zipra. Our arms were not allowed to hold any arms. So our arms were actually they were actually locked in a house. So even the commanders were not allowed to have arms. That's how they did not respect us. Commanders were not even allowed to hold a pistol or anything. They were all taken into the armory. All the weapons were locked there. And as I've said, even the other soldiers from the other side, they started singing those songs, Zandla and so on. What was disappointing is that when it came to radio and TV, it was only Zandla, as if Zipra were not existing. We could sing on our own. But that, even when we went to home, maybe you were visiting your parents, they would only talk, why is it we're only singing Zandla? And there's nothing from you guys. That means you didn't fight. Is that true? So you to start explaining and so on. But that annoyed our forces. So what happened? They broke into the armory. That was in the evening. It was dark, so that they would not be detected. So when they broke out of the armory, they took the arms. They gave each other the zebras. Konmara is just close to the road. So after that, they also went to the road and made a roadblock. It was difficult to command them, to tell them to stop and so on. It was really difficult because they were really angry.
They brought some weapons. Bafaka a church. That church was about 150 meters from the camp. Bafaka church. Then wakulabantu abagadayo, soldiers. It was supposed to be before Sunday. I want to go to church.
Yeah.
The Nurama is a mawala. Wahamba kuparada tiziproko what mazipra ndio ma distance what. So those guys vadlila Panama lapha ugade khona. Yabona. I don't know what to say now. They did whatever they did. Most likely they took the weapons. Abantu they also disappeared. They discombated them.
Yeah.
Also disappeared. So after 3 days bazophenduka. Yabona. Bephenduka laphana inkambe yethu kwakunje so kwakule dam emuva kwecamp manje. Then phambili kwecamp kulokuyi-hill nje. So abafana labana they occupied sort of a C formation. Kumbolezela ikampa ukuthi umuntu ochaya wonke uza kuya ngaphi edamu. Those are well-trained bastards phela abafana bakithi. So baqalisa ngamabhasuka, they destroy the armory first. Ma-RPG-7 but the armory was gone, man. So abantu laba they know where to go. Ukuthi bahambe ku-armory yasedestroy seyisitsha.
So they went with them.
They moved in. Made an assault. Kwafa abantu. So these guys, they thought possibly he may have planned this operation.
So this was basically a fight between Zebra and Zandla guys.
Simple. And I mean, I was not aware of that. Who is even worse than in Tumban? Just got forward more than in Tumban thing.
Or eyaqala entumbani umdala lo wafayo lo unkala nguye wahamba wakwenza irally eWhite City laphana wagcwalisa abantu ababezithi ngabezanu bathe sebesuka laphana abantu labana sebejika amatshe behamba bejama ama-supporters kumbe kuthiwa ngayizapho kumbe wathi kwaze kwafika ezinkambeni khona lapho esasikhona entumbani. That's when abafana labana bezanu la sebeqalisa ukuzama ukuganga bethemba amakhiwa lana segibixheqwe ebhawo sabamukula-ke sabachaya ayikhona mbijana. Bathe bephinda isibili isitimela safika ngabona past 3 sisima sisehlisa imbhobho chapa event wathi thina sibakhangele abezani la sebelungiselele esibili thina sahle safonela igwayi la yalethe ebusuku ama-grad b and so on. Bona babeqala njalo bethembe amakhiwa la edeploy egibixheqwe ebhawa lapha. Lapho-ke bafa kakhulu amadoda la nokwasuka kwahlupha nje ukuthi amadoda ayedeploy umbhobho lo mkhulu owawusempopho ama-secondary base betrigela khonale kuphela kade enye inkamba yethu yayikhonale icamp 4 kwagcina kusifa abanye bethu kakhulu.
Some ex-ZIPRA members deserted the National Army because they felt they were not being treated fairly and equally. It has to be noted that even on the Zandla side, there were several combatants who deserted the army for various reasons. In 1982, Africa Now magazine reported that 2,000 ex-ZIPRA and 550 ex-Zandla combatants had deserted the National Army.
Limbona nginje bengisesisotsheni. Ngibalekile esotsheni, ngiqalisa ukudingwa ngisesotsheni ngiyekithi kulive. Ngaqala ukudingwa. Ukuthi nxa sengibuya kithi ngingasavunyelwa nxa ngisiza ngapho usize Matabeleland wawuthi uya kuma operation. Besiqala ukubizwa ama-dissident siku-army.
Into vele zahle zabanyuva wathi ngoba ususela kontumbane khona pha kwahle kwaba le question mark noma nje kwakuthiwa emasotsha amaningi laphana ku-army kodwa zathi amasotsha amaningi ngapho uyatraina amanye amasotsha inamba ufuna inamba enganani ngapho uyafula ngalo utrainele obani singayibuza nje into esegcekeni otrainele amazipho ngoba ukhophelo oluvele lukhona kudala lakudala. Indlela esasiphatha ngayo endleleni lapha nxa utha uthethe ilivi uzatshaya uze uthi ya utshaya umuntu ongatrainanga utraine khonapha ekhaya ngasuke enkongo bharaki ngabuye intaba zinduna lapha okuthiwa yi-120 ngasuke sabuya saqalisa ukuthi i-training saya ngaphi tebhinga satraina tezivela le kwathiwa sesiya ngaphi sesiye eGwanda lapha yachiya lapha yachiya vele ngibona ukuthi umumo wakhona akawumnandi vele ongamnandi ongawubonanga ewuzwa nguye ngathi wawumnandi kodwa wangena phakathi kwawo awungamnandi noma singawubhula siwuthini wawuvele ungamnandi kwakubulawana kwahamba abantu abaningi wawuthi nxa ubuya ebhasini ento iyabile ibhasi livele yaralulele ukuza ngiphiwa uyile ibhasi yabe kuthiwa isakhamuzi libambe ibhasi kumbe nititsha lapha polisa la isotsha yonke idifandete kalenze nje ongavele uchinga ukuthi chini ususele khonapha uphinde ubonakale futhi somele uhlale ubuchila kuphelele izo into walikhululayo wena kufana notakula lizwe likhululile khululizwe apha futhi ubuzothwala nzima.
Academic Professor Timothy Scanecchia says in the early 80s, the killing of ex-Zipra by ex-Zandla was a fact of life. They made life hell for Zipra combatants in the National Army, leading to hundreds deserting. We can assume that these were the nascent beginnings of Gukurahundi in the army.
Just on 1981 ngoMeyi nase-Lwelling Barracks senze admin course saqeda sasuka ngadeploya e-Brigade Barracks ngasebenza khona phana e-Brigade Barracks under engineering ngathatha omunye ubaba captain bokusisela makhiwo by then wabe commander Captain Howard ngangisebenza laye sasijayele babe le camp yabo signals eQueenspark so sasihamba siyakhona le ngilingasawazi ukuthi kwakutheni sabizwa futhi kukhanya sasigqoshe thina singamazipra sodwa sakhitshwa ema-ofisini kodwa wahamba lihlala liwe e-guardroom le lihlala egedini ngale sahlala khona ngale wahlala ngidla ukuthi hayi selisiyaharare thatha sayathiwa January 82 hamba ngayiharare khona ngale into efika mina ngalandwa ngabe 1 air defense eyayise-Kwi Redcliffe lapha kwathiwa yona siyasebenzela khona ngale bangithatha bahamba lami. I was the first woman ukwakhona enkambeni yakhona le ngahlala 2 days kwaze uphume inkazana esitshoneni oyingumzandla sahlala-ke khonapho unfortunately ngase ngizithwelele ngakuma-maternity leave ngo-end of April ngabeletha ngoMeyi ngale 3 months leave ngithe ngibuyela-ke ngafica hayi sekula mankazana sasingu-6 then amazipra were only 2 amazandla beyi-4 ama-girls khonapho sisenkambeni naleyo impupho yayisetshenziswa yayimpupho yewill ama-zipra so yamount-ke impupho leyana kwathe kuthiwa bona-ke abayi kugadi abangeni emagojini la so abafana labana bahle bahlakanipha bahwatshe ezinye isimbi khonaphana emounteni impupho leya ukuthi abantu laba vele abasezibakwanisa ukuyisebenzisa ngoba kabayazi bahlala kunjalo-ke.
So kwakunamanye amazipra angafani.
Babe khona yibo phela babe mountain abavele babe lama-ZQ lawo yibo babe mountain ama-ZQ lawana so wahlala kunjalo ungani kuyaphilwa kodwa kungakhayi ukuthi kuphilwa njani. Ucommand wayengowezani then twice wayengumzipra I think command wayeyi-1 wezipra upage kuthe semphendwa ku-maternity khonapho I think it was August ngahlala ngafika ngahlala enkambeni so one weekend ngabuya ngapha koBulawayo into efika ngivela ngapha mfica umngane wami lo uthe lapha kunzima ndoda kuyafiwa la mina ngithi indaba uthi kulelo kuchaya abantu lapho kulama offices ayi2 abezipra abulwe ebusuku kwenze njani ukuthi avele amangwazi sathi sike sabizwa khona lapha wasatshaya mbisha sifa kwamambama.
So cha umbama lisotsha.
Ehe lawo lisotsha. But ngenxa ukuthi senior member kuyo akulanto ongayenza. Ngathi lapha kusahlalekile akungcono udinga indlu ngaphandle. Ngabe ngidinga indlu ngaphandle kuthiwa kuserutendo. Ngikuyilo kusho ukuthi kuserutendo ngose Redcliffe. Ngathi uthi angayikhona ngale. Angikwazi nazahlala hayi kwangani i-situation ibathesi lapha eCamp lapha. Kwase kudosha abantu nje ukuthi umuntu uchayiwe umuntu kasabonakali. So kwakulomunye ubaba wakho Sibanda ovelela upani. Sahlala duzane khona le rutendo la. uSibanda uyakuya ngilanga ntambama ngithi ngichayisile. Ngibuya ngithi kanti Sibanda waba ubomvu kangaka wenze njani? Uthi ngichayiwe. Uchayiwe utheni? Sibona uthatha nje sacha. Kathi manje uthi lapha ngiphunyukile la. Unkosikazi wakuzithwele lapha useju. Uthi lapha manje angila mali. Njengoba phakathi kwenyanga ngicela umboleke $20. Ngihambe thatha umama lo ngimhambise ngapha ekhaya. Kwenzela ukuthi nxa ebeletha ekhaya. In case bazangidobha. Kungaba nzima ukuthi bangidobe ngimshiye khona. Wena nzathi ikhabothi lapha endlini lapha. Uzasaluthatha ikhabothi la. Thatha $20 ngimnike uSibanda lo. Ngivuke kuseni ithi umkazana wami ogcina umntwana. Wena uhambe uyobona umfazi kaSibanda ngale. Uthe bale ikhabothi abayithengisayo. Ngitshaya mina imsebenzi. Nxa siyaphendula ntamba umkazana uthi ngifice ukuthi uSibanda kabakho. Baphumile bachitranka kuphelele ama uniform. Yabo, lami ngihlale ngasayi khona ngani nje story ngiyazazi. Ngihlale 3 days kwami usuku awolo. Sulovile sebesakudinga. Befike endlini ngale bethi watshintsha into zakhe lapha e-uniform. Akilibuze lapha unkazana lapha ngowafikayo uzobathinga. Nxa ngisahlezi e-office ngizosembizo. Kuthiwa ungabo Sibanda. Mina ngithi uSibanda uphi? Uthi uSibanda ohlala la ngale. Mina ngithi uSibanda ngikwazi mina ukuthi ungaphi. Ngithi umkazana wethu uyathengisa ikhabothi ngathi umkazana afice ngasekho. So lama sazange ngifike khona njengoba uzokuthi akawo. Bathi uyamazi lapho khona. Ngizamveza. Angimazi phela ukuthi uSibanda uyena bathi uyahlanya wena. Bangishaya uyasi bangishaya. Imagine khona umntwana wami is only 6 months I think 5 to 6 months. Shaya umuntu oyindoda uyakukhahlela uyakwenzani igazi liyavuza. Suka lapha ukuthi uhambe eclinic. Medic wayeseclinic wathi Nyamazi wayethiwa nguClaudius Chidakwa.
Uloke khona.
Angazi ngiyabona sibafana ngazi ukuthi wayesehlanye eStreet nzeHarare ngale. Ngoba is the same guy wabulala ama officers lawana. Nguwe vele initiate into zonke zokuchaya abantu lezi. And kwakungela umuntu oyicamp lapha wayengamkhuza. Even ama camp commanders engakhonza ukumkhuza.
In my case now, I was arrested on 30 March 1983. What happened was the GSO2 ZMP Territorate now led Major they called him Major Chikananda or Makawi. He came with one officer who was military intelligence at Harare District, which is KG6, which is in KG6, but administers some Harare-based units. That captain was Kutesera. I don't know what is his rank now. I was called by a Sergeant Major Machemba. That guy was ex-SAS. He just came to me and said the G2 wants you outside. I went to them. On arrival, the G2 would tell the intelligence captain that in dear Maliko Washu, meaning this is Maliko. So the captain came to me and said, you are wanted by the Director Military Intelligence. I really asked him for what. He said no, he didn't know. We then drove from the unit where I was working. We passed through Camp Hospital. We collected one corporal, Brian Sizib. Unfortunately, the guy is late. We drove straight to Caprit Barracks. So at Caprit Barracks, that is where the intelligence captain then told me that he has some instructions from The Director Military Intelligence placed me under arrest. I asked him why, he then said no, he didn't know. I must wait. He's also waiting for further instructions from the Director Military Intelligence. He left Capret Barracks. As he left, there were some junior soldiers there who point blank asked me, I was a captain by then, with the captain incident to rank who remained. I was removed ranks. As I was to be put inside cells, that officer was back again, saying he has been instructed to take me to Brigade. I was put into the car room. It was almost towards lunch. They took this Corporal Sizeva first. We were then separated. Then just towards, that was towards 1400 hours, still on 31st of March. One intelligence officer came. I later knew to be a Lieutenant Ruat Marufu. I call him a peace boss. I've never seen a cruel human being to other human beings like that person. I later learned from some of the intelligence officers that I befriended during our course of operation in the army that the guy really worked at Capret Barracks, but he was a torture for hire to these other units, where you will torture and kill Zipra members, or torture until they soil themselves. Then you will be very happy.
In December 1981, Zanu had a 3-day Central Committee meeting where they reviewed their plans and policies for the new year. One party state was on the agenda. Briefing the press, Mugabe said, if we ban any party, it is not because we want to reinforce the position of Zanu, but because we have considered that party to be subversive. The Central Committee had also directed that they should intensify negotiations with ZAPU to unify the two parties. Years later, ZAPU had to choose between unconditional surrender or total political annihilation. Addressing a rally on January 17, 1982, Mugabe said no other party could assume power in Zimbabwe. ZANU would rule Zimbabwe forever, and the government wanted to rout all political and economic saboteurs. Zanu PF, Mugabe said, would resist this using all the power at his disposal and smash those who wanted to destroy his government. Dinopika Nambuya Nehanda, he vowed. This was well before any incidents of dissidents, discoveries of arms caches, and all other related events. The stage was already set for the genocide, and the language of war was crystal clear.
We have people beating up people. Why must people beat each other? Why must people beat the next person? Why must you teach people to hate? This is no time to teach people to hate each other. This is the time to teach people to respect each other, to accept each other, not to hate, not to roar, not to kill.
Como should be the last man to say that. He is, for now, the only person with an active anti-government force operating in the country, which is armed and eliminating people, harassing them in both Matabelelands, North and South, and is being armed by South Africa. He's the only one with that kind of an illegal force operating within Zimbabwe today.
Continuing with the hate language and making clear his intentions to destroy ZAPU and the Ndebele, Mugabe said Zimbabwe was one, And Zanu saw no reason parties that were bent on destroying the country for their own gain should continue to exist. On 6 February 1982, the then Minister of State Security, Emmerson Mnangagwa, convened a press conference in Bulawayo, telling journalists that the government had discovered around 60 arms caches in Matabeleland, half of them at Gwai River Mine Camp, the main base of ZAPU's military wing, ZIPRA, and another 30 at a farm owned by a company connected to ZAPU. Mnangagwa said he found it hard to believe that the ZAPU and ZIPRA leadership would be ignorant of the existence of the quality and quantity of the armory found. A week later, President Kenan Banana declared 11 ZIPRA-connected companies unlawful organizations. Gabe soon after announced that he had fired Joshua Nkomo, Josiah Chinamanu, and the other ZAPU members from his cabinet. The arrests of ZIPRA commanders Lookout Masuku, Dumiso Dabengwa, and others followed the dismissal of Joshua Nkomo. The well-calculated discovery of the arms caches was so timed when most of the ZIPRA combatants had either been integrated into the National Army or demobilized. Nkomo had no military backing at the time, and for Mugabe, it was an excellent opportunity for him to strike.
We are going all out now to crush them, and we'll crush them.
In 1983, 6 February, la bangena bona babehamba bebulala abantu. Mina banilanda ekhaya ngilomkami, ngangibasa umlilo phandle ekuseni ngama-6. Yikho bathe behlikile lapha bafika. Babiza umkami sihlezi lapha. Bambulalela eceleni kwehadi. Omunye wayekhuluma laye, omunye ekhombele eceleni kwekhanda lakhe. Kwaphuma uthi khu, sambone esiwa, thina bazange besishaya. Hayi, bathe besuka lapho bengu-2, babaleka. Lwana yasale siwa umkami. Sathi siyakhangela khonapho. Sathola ukuthi wamchaya ikhanda lakwatuka, ucezu lawela eceleni. Nangibelethwe umntana ka-82 omncane. Yikho ke sabaleka sama laphana mina ngaphenduka. Ngathi angisoze ngibaleke ngishiye umuntu lwana ngoba izinja zizamenza zizasala zimudla lapha njengoba vele sewile. Ngasala lokho nginjalo. Kuthe kuchaya izikhathi zama-4 ngoba kuthutsha abantu omakhelwana bakhona ngapha endamuleni phansi ngapha bethwele amafosholo. Bafika bathi hayi kuthiwe sizonceda abantu laba abanjani abafileyo. Mina ngasenzithi alright, kwayelabana wakhe khonapho yena umkami. Naye hambani legebhela esibayeni laphana. Esibayeni kungani kumanzi. Bahamba bafika begebha labo labo makhelwana bami. Bagebha bathi begebhile bangena bakhawula nje lapha ngaphansi kwamakhwapha. Bambiza bathi so right gogo, wathi so right. Bambeka babuya bazombamba ngengubo bamngenise egodini. Mina ngihamba ngiphethe ucezu lolwanulani olekhanda sembuthile ubuchopho lo angikwazi ukuchopha umuntu ubuyelo kodwa ngabe ubutha ngafaka egebhezini. Hamba ngiphethe afika abaqhubela egodini bafaka eceleni kwakhe lapha bathatha ke bagqibela engakubonayo ngabona ubunzima kakhulu. Isikhathi seGukurahundi akathe hey vele ngizwa kuzima noma ngilandisa so mina kimi ngwana kumphathi kahle vele.
Sabizwa komaphosa kosobhuku kwathiwa ilayini yonke kayibuye khona ngale. Abantu bonke bahamba bahlangana khonapho. Kwazothiwa kakuhlanganisa ukudla. Abantu bahlanganisa ukudla kwaba labaphekayo. Abaningi kwathiwa abahlabeli. Abantu baqalisa ukuhlabela kwabizwa kwathiwa kubuya ama-youth abakungabafananyana khona kwama-grade 7 lokhu. Yikho kwabizwa kwahamba kwakhona ngale emasotsheni batshengisa indawo ukuthi abagebhi futhi. Ngapha thina sasilokho sihlabela. Bagebha nje igodi elingakwana ukuthi umuntu efike so. Bathe sebegebhile kwathiwa abantu bonke kababuye khona ngale. Sabe sisuka siya khona ngale. So bathe befika babekhetha bathi wena ngena lawe ngena lawe ngena. Wangena abantu abangu-5 igodi labe seligcwele. Baqamba lo baba kwathiwa lawe ngena. So kuthe sekunjalo kwakulokunye okungumfana okwakumhlophe kwakumfana lona ubuhlophe bakhe wayengazathi kumbe ufuna ukuba yinkawu kumbe njani angikwazi. Kodwa babevele bembiza umkharathi umfana wakhona. Nguye owahle wathatha umbhobho. Wabachaya nje bonke wazotshaya lwana usenyaweni. Kuthe kuphela lapho baye besithi kakubuye abafana bezogqibela. Abafana bagqibela. Omama kwathiwa hlabelani vele asifuni umuntu okhalayo. Omama bahlabela vele kuthe kuphela lapho kwathiwa lo lalo ekhaya lakhe. Sabe siphuma sonke amantombazane behamba besiyakhala besenguteni. Labo basuka bahamba khonapho. Impilo yaba buhlungu kakhulu leyana. Yaba buhlungu sibili ngoba umuzi wahle wachitheka. Umama laye njengomuntu wesifazana into yakhona eyenzakile yayibuhlungu kakhulu ukuthi ungayenelisa ukuthi uhlale umuntu wakho ebulawe ngaleyana ndlela yabe sungani lezesabo. Ngoba inkomo zonke zazikhona ezingu-16 zahamba zalandela ilizwe. Kwaswelakala yena uyazidinga. Akula muntu ongalingena iganga lakhona. Zahamba zanyamalala. So umama wagcina la esebaleka sesiya ngapha eTsholotsho kugwayi ngapha elokhuzeni. Okwakuyakhele khona umnawami omunye wayesempini.
Ngo-1983 I know ukuthi kwakumhla ka-29 December. NgangiseTechmine ngaleso sikhathi ngingakabi khona lapha eDakamela. Ngangisanda kuba semtshadweni ukutshada sengumama. Ngilo baba ngase ngihlale ngabona inyanga ezimbili vele kwakuduze sanda kuchada. Kwakusekuseni nje ngikhumbula nje kwangama-9. Silokho sizihlalele nje phambi kwendlu khonapho nje ngilabanye nomakhelwana. Into eyenzakala lapho sezwa abathi phongukuma amadlodlongwana bathi sebefikile. Ithi siyakhangela sabona abengwane ezibomvu lapha sebethuthile sebegcwele indawo yonke. Abahle bathi namhlanje kunzima. Ngangihlala ngubona ukuchaya kodwa ke ngakubona ngalelana ilanga. Bafika babuza ukuthi kanti ibhasi liyanetshe laphana kwakuthi ibhasi khonapho duze kwakuPhilip laphana abakunanzelelayo laphana. Kwakule bhasi yayitshile kwaphana kuthiwa nguZenzeleni. Bathi abatshise laphana ngobani. Asathi asikwazi wathi hayi asambeni liyibona khona siyakhuluma kuhle khona ngale. Sahamba safika khona ngale sathola abantu sekugcwele indawo yonke kungasakhanyi. Sachawa ngalelo langa. Kwathiwa ngobani abatshisa ibhasi le. Sathi hayi asikwazi abathi bizasitshela kuhle. Sachawa ozozwa lendlebe zingani ngazisezwa. Ngamandla nje kaNkulunkulu kwaya ngezikhathi hayi saqina lathi sesihamba sibechala babanye la sesenza ukuthi abanye sithi hambani bazalibulala. Kwazi ukuthi kwakumhla kweqa ilanga elilodwa. Nge-second day yangikhona. Ubaba wayesanda kuchayisa emsebenzini nje hawo. Nami ngimlungisela amanzi laphana ngoba kwakuqanda lelo langa ukuthi uzahlanganisa laqanda laphana gesi. Base sebefikile. Babe besithi khulu sicela usisi wakho lo akasiphelekezeni. Wathi hayi asusisi wami unkosikazi wami lo. Wathi hayi wena mntala uthi ukuthi wena ungaba lo mntwana ongaka ungikhulu ongaka. Hayi akulanto enjalo. Asambi sukuma sisukuma. Mina ngangikhangele uthenxela uzakuthi hayi engahambi unkosikazi. La wabezithulela omunye wahle wasukela kodwa kwamkhaba ngapha ngemuva wakuwa ngelokhuzeni ngekhanda phansi. Ngalami ngasukuma ngalandela abambukela khonapho. Fika laphana kwakula amatendi ababewenzile babe baningi abantu labana. Bathi namhlanje ukhulu zamkhohlwa namhlanje. Ulamhlungu wethu. Uyazi ngaqhuqa indlela ebuhlungu athi impengcone abantu basoma. Angeliswa kwenye itende omunye lathi hayi umbisi umfazi lo ngapha umfazi lo ngowethu umbisi. Usuke lapho futhi ngale omunye suke engikhaba la ngihamba gijima sengena kulena itende. Abantu abangu5 bonke abanqepha ngalelo langa. Kwaba buhlungu kakhulu ubusuku obubodwa kwangani ngumnyaka uthi kuphume ilanga. Kwathi kusithi ndilaphana sempunguta yami Nkosi yami shuwa ngaze ngifele kuyona le ndawo. Bathi phuma hamba endlini yakho. ngaphuma khonapho lokuhamba umzimba wami usubuhlungu ngithe ndifika laphana endlini indlu yami yale izinto ezimbili kwakule kitchen ngene ekitchen ngingene endlini yokulala fika ngisunduze ngapha ekitchen besivalo sankhona sasingavali isiqini ngingityanqoqoda ngapha endlini kwabantwana babukhile ahlathi buyela lapho ovela khona emadodeni akho abevula umnyango abejika ingubo ekitchen wayelo Dube ukhona nje la lapha ababelele bendawonye uDube nalo wayelala ekitchen so wabe sithi nawe amebuya sizolala endlini lo uzafika elala khona ngale kitchen hamba ngafika ngalala ekitchen khona apho wavuka ekuseni hayi bancengela uDube wabiza omunye udodo wayekhona la kwamakhelwana wabuya bancengela ukuthi hayi umuntu ahamba ngokuthanda kwakhe la ekhangela la uDubekile ayisikho ukuthi bekuthanda kwakhe kwasukela khonapho impilo yami nomkamazange yabanhle ngathwala nzima kakhulu la esephonga uhlalela la ukuthi nizakuthini kwelilanga sesixabane ethi wena fazwe Gukurahundi wena hayi kwangikhathaza kakhulu kwangixexisela umthatho wami ngaphila impilo enzima kakhulu kuze ukuthi la namhlanje lo manhlezi hayi kangikhululekanga ngempilo engayiphiliswa eGukurahundi
ukuhlala ukuhlangana lokudlangulwa ngangiko Gambo ngumntwana wesikolo ne14 years so iGukurahundi yafika esikolo yasithatha singabantwana si7 yangena lathi iganga so bathe befika laphana labana abantu omunye wathatha omunye laphana omunye laphana omunye lapha so wayevele sesihlala labo khonapha egangeni ngapha thina silaba egangeni ngapha abazali bethu begejisa izihlahla ngezandla endaweni ukuthiwa kusejalume singasayi lekhaya singasagezi sesiphuma khonapho phela emantendeni kuphela sikhutshiswa amaphenti yenziswa into ovelo ongayaziyo so hayi lokhana kwasihlukumeza kakhulu ngoba le mzimba yethu ayizange ibuye iqonde kuze kube la namuhla ukudlwangudlwangu lobana basihlukumeza kakhulu ngoba besiqalisa sasingakwazi fika ugeja umlindi uthi angena la ngiyenzeni la ihlala uthi yenzithi sase sagcina sesingomama bakhona khonapho so yibo ukudlwangudlwangu obuhlungu esahlangana lawo singazimiselanga singakafiki esimeni sokuthi lokho sikwenzi so yibuhlukumezo olukhulu engahlangana nabo ekukhuleni kwami
ayenzakala ngo83 ekuseni sathi sivuka sisesilungiselela ukuya esikolo sathi sesiqokile kwabe kuthutsha amasotsha wagcala ahlagcwala indawo yonke athe segcwele indawo yonke babe besithi lonke phansi sabe sihlala phansi babevusa ubankhulu navela ngondlwa ubankhulu abevuka babe beqalisa ukumbuza ama-questions nangu grade 5 babe beqalisa ukumbuza eminye imibuzo vele abanye babekhuluma isishona abanye isindebele ubankhulu yathi saphendula babe sithi mdala usadlala wena babe-2 ubankhulu babe bebalalisa phansi babangenela babachaya nasikhala singabantwana besikolo sithe sebeqeda ukubachaya sebebathatha sebesebahlanganisa labanye elayinini babe sithi thina sihambe esikolo sabuya sithe sisize esikolo sathi sisendleleni sezwa sokulompopho suduma ngaphi esikolo sathi saphenduka futhi sabaleka saya ekhaya sithe sifike ekhaya safica ukuthi abadala abakho lokho bebuthelele sithe sisuka lapho sabe sikamba lathi siyacatsha egangeni sasilokho esibuya sizelunguza ukuthi abadala sebekhona yini sifice nya kwaya abadala sayisababona ilanga selinga sebebuya sebebadisha kodwa ubankhulu wayevele sedamejekile kwahlala insuku kumbe kwahlala inyanga kwaze kuthiwa sokusiba lomhlangano ukuthi sokukhethwa abakhulu okungayikuthi amatitsha vele anti ayesetshonile wonke sahamba sayafunda esodaka sabuya sokuthiwa sokulamatitsha amatitsha athe sekhona sokuthiwa ngama-weekend sokumele kuye emhlanganweni weyuthi labangani bebakhulu mina ngangimncane vele but ngomzimba vele abadala kulami babebonakalana ngibancane mina beyangithathela umzimba kuthiwe sengimkhulu ahamba saya emhlanganweni eChayakhiwa sithe sifika khona apha eChayakhiwa bafika basihlabelisa nje basenzisa okunye nje izikethi nje besitshela nje ukuthi kumele siphile njani siyiyuthi sithe sesichayisa khonapho xa besihamba lo umsotsha lana wabe ehambe ethatha umbhobho wakhe ehamba njengalala la eniko ethwalisa omunye njengalala la eduze vele distance yankhona isiba mfitshane mina wambeka ekugcineni mina ngathwala ngabona ukuthi kathi why mina sengithwala uma ngumuntu okwedlula wabanye babe ngabona lokho uqhubeka ngabe ngithi hayi mina sengidiniwe wathi uthi usudiniwe usadlala wena wabe sithi abanye bonke abahambi benchi abanye wathi ngizambona nje khona abanye bonke bahle bahamba ngasala sengiyi1 wahle wathi kimlala phansi mina ngacanga ngathi ngilala phansi ngiwalalisa abankulu ngale ukuthi lami sendaliswa phansi senginjani sengichayo wathi ngilala phansi ngihama vele ngase ngikhala khona apho ukuthi kwenzakalani lokuthi wangisa njani angikwazi ngambona sephezulu kwami eselihlukula iphenti kathi namhla kwenzakalani vele ngase ngikuwa lapho wathi vele kuvele ukuwe wahlwa njengisa umbhobho wanjengisa ingqama wabezenzela khona okwenzayo vele nganisese ngumntwana vele ngingazi lutho vele ukuthi kuthiwa kwenziwa njani vele ngangakwazi ngoba ngikugrade 5 kese sizuka lapha sesithi alright hamba ungafika ukhuluma ngizakubona vele ngahle ngahamba kathi abanye vele bahamba uma umlutshwane banjani bamelela phambili la becatshile ngajoyina nalabo ngahamba labanye into engifike ekhaya ngafika ngakhuluma vele ukuthi sebengenze so bahle bathi ngcono siye ngapi esibhedlela ephumula ngahamba ephumula esibhedlela bathi befike esibhedlela ephumula baye befika bengihlola babe wayengichayile futhi engalweni la baye bengilalisa 3 days bengihlaba amajekiseni baye besithi hayi uyehlulekile kasayenzanga lokho kodwa efuna ukwenza idoti ihle kanjani yachithekele emzimbeni wami so akasandamejanga kakhulu banika amaphilisi nje ukuthi nxa kule kunyokungenile kungiklini ngaphakathi after that ngabuyela ekhaya ngalaliswa 3 days esibhedlela ngabuyela ekhaya sahlala kwadlula kwazaba lesikhathi sokuthi abantu abana sebehambile sebebuthiwe bonke bahamba sokumele siqalise isikolo futhi sifunde khona kukhana kwasokundlukumeza ngoba abantu abanye abantwana besikolo anti basengasesaba ukuthi amasotsha akasekho sesithi lo phela warejwa lo njani vele kwasekungistress eclassini ndanxa semfunda kwaya vele impilo yami yaqhubeka vele isinzima ukuthi nxa sengihamba bona babe uthatha njengokuthi ijoke kanti mina into lokhana kuyanjani kuyangistress kwaya ngaze ngafunda ansafundanga ukuya ngaphi vele ngoba ngagcina ku-form 1 ubankulu vele anti wayeselezinyalo onguye wayengikhangele ngimfundisa ubankulu washona uthe seshonde lami ngaswela umuntu ongifundisayo ngahlala 3 years ngingasafunda methi ngabe ngiqede i-form 4 ngabe ngisiye emendweni ngithe ngifike emendweni ngahlala silumkami hayi kwaba right kodwa la wayekhona khona kumzwanelanga kanjani ngirejwa wayesithi nje ngelanga nje nxa siyabe sivuseni ebelakho ukuthi kanjena nawo arejwa ukuthi dikho ngani kuya kuphambanisa angiyi-ignore nje kuyinto lokhuyana nguthathe edlula so after that umkami watshona ngo-2015 sahlala so khathesi nje bakhona ababe senziwa kwama-jokes ukuthi bethi lo yenziwa kuthiwa kwanjani wakwarejwa so nxa ungasamrephanga ukuthi kavumi nxa uyala omunye umuntu so yena uyakuthatha sekubeka ngezinye indlela
bathe besiyaripota obaba kwasekuthiwa bahle babanjwa khonapho baqunywa imphimbo nengqamo endaweni esetshawakiwe bangcwatshwa bebathathu so bathe bengcwatshwe bebathathu one ndawo so lapha bazobuya balandela kwathi ekuseni sibili inkomo zazingakaphumi kwasekuthiwa wonke umuntu emgodini sonke sahamba umama wami waqalisa ukufika laphana wafika waqalisa ukuchaya wathi bemchayile bamgwaza ngebhayinethi ngemuva la waqalisa ukuphuma igazi ngomlomo la ngamakhala kuthe kusachaya u3 omama bami kwathiwa sukumani lonke asambenini bahamba bebagadile amasotsha amanye ayengapha emaceleni amanye ngapha emaceleni abanye belandile emuva omama behamba besesente omgwaqo bazokhona lapha sithe thina kuthiwa sasala sisemgodini lapha kulamanye amasotsha ayengangala umsotsha lwana wayengalo wasesithi lani bantwana landelana sambeni thina sabuya kancane sabona intuthu sithunqa la sesibona intuthu sithunqa lapho umama oyi1 wahle wacrossa lapho wathi sezumbhobho usukhala salandela kancane sathi sizofika la kwakulabo dadewethu ababili ababetshiselwe kuleya indlu engangale. Then baphuma lapha. Bathe bephume laphana mina ngazothatha ukuthi hayi osisi bakho sebephumile. Ngaphenduka sase siya kuthiwa siyokodlamisa egada amaphuma esihlobeni zethu. Ngaphenduka ngazobopha inqola yakhona ihlala ngaphansi komtsophi lwano laphana. Ngakodlamisa. Ngabopha inkabilezana, but inkabilezana ngenxa ukuthi zazitshonene esibayeni the whole day. Zabe siyabhekuka ngale phambili. The siyabhekuka ngale phambili. Osisi labana bahle banjani? Inkabi zahle zangena ithwaga. Zabe siyaqamula amajogo khona ngale. Enyaba lephisi yabe laphi yikusila kwazo. Mina ngahamba salala emasimini sasesibathathu. Kwakulo Sphetheni lo Thaba Dlamini who is now the late, then kwaba yimi. Salala sembethe amaplastic and kwakuyisikhathi sokuvuna inyawuthi yayiloko. Salala phakathi kwenyawuthi sembathe amaplastic. Savuka ekuseni sazophenduka sizokhangela osisi sathola usisi wami omunye wayechile wabhubha kodwa wabhubha ekhangele phezulu. And into inzisa ubuhlungu ngoba ngabona ubunqunu bukadadewethu.
Babuya abantu labana kwakusekuseni. Mina nganabantwana babili oka 78 loka 80 loka 82 ole 7 months unguye ngangimphethe. Abantu abafike ekuseni. Nasasihlezi sivela sengasahlala sithe lokho sihlezi sabona sebefikile kwangamasotsha. Besithi phumelani ngaphandle kweguma. Sabe siphuma basibuza vela nto umbuzo wangwama distance. Sese besibuzile besibuza kade abanye bacollecta abanye usesala nkomo lapho. Abanye bacollecta abanye ngezindawo ngendawo emakhaya abo. Babuya labo khona lapho sesingaphandle. Sese bebuye labo sesingaphandle basibuza mayelana lama distance. Sakhuluma esikukhulumayo uthe uqeda lapho basingenisa endlini bavala sonke nini balight indlu leyana. Kwathi labana babengalabantwana baxukuqa isivalo lesana basiquqa izindlu zonke ekhaya lapha zasejisi but thina sikoyi1 basiquqa saqhamuka ucingo lwana thesoluqhamukile ucingo lolwana baphuma phambili manje thina ngenxa ukuthi sasiphethe abantwana saphumela emuva. Mina ngaphumela emuva lo munye umama kwakuthiwa nguJuliet Moyo wayelomntwana lesisu kwaba lo munye umama uMrs Sibanda owayephethe umzukulu laye. Saphumela emuva logogo ozala umama kaBaba wayekhula waphumela emuva. Sesiphumile laphana kade sebebona ukuthi labana baphume uqala sebebalekile vele intuthu yanti yayibambile ekhaya. Bachaya umbhobho babakhutha abantu labana bazongena ekhaya. Sesengena ekhaya bashuta uJuliet bamshuta wafa laphana lesisu lo mntwana. Ugogo lwana uMrs Sibanda yena umzukulu wakhe wawela laphana ugogo wahle wafela khonapho. Mina ngama duze lendlu yayisitsha ngilogogo ozala umamazala sama eceleni kwami mphethe umntana mina yikho ngalimala khona. Babe beshuta ngombhobho ngimile nginjalo. Lama ngikwazi ekuvukeni kwami ngazibona sengasela mntwana. Umntwana uthi wawa wahle watshela njengoba sasimi eceleni kwendlu yayisitsha. Ugogo laye wahle wafela khonapho. Mina lama ngikwazi anti umlimi uyakuphaphamisa ngithe mphaphama lami lokho endlela ubaba lwana omama lwana odutshileyo kade sebonile ukuthi umama kaphumanga lapha wamthola sefile. Wabuya kimi wathi gaqa ngamadolo ungene kulindlu enjani engatshiswanga. Ucatshe khona ngoba ungabantu lobana ungaphenduka ubuye kuqedisela. Lami ngenza njalo ngangena laphana ngacatsha ngalala ngikhonapho ngavuka ngikhonapho nomuntu nomanzi nowathi kusukela ekuseni. Kuthe emini yantambama kwakunje ngagaqa amadolo senzama ukucabanga uanti womkami wayeseduze nje. Kanti vele bambulele ekuseni ngenqa mina ngangakwazi. Ngafika ngithe lokho engikhonapho sengomile vele ngisopha ngelanga lesithupha. Abantu labana kulabanye ababethutsha bezodinga abakudinga sebebalekile bangena iganga sebebuyele emakhaya ukuthi badinga kokudla. Babe bengibona babe bengilanda bathi kade ukhona ngathi umntwana ke ngathi angikwazi ukuthi umntwana yena. Abantu labana babe bengithatha behamba lami egangeni. Sabe siyahlala khona legangeni abona sahlala 2 months. Labana abanye babefile khona lapho basebedliwa izinja but ngemva kwama days abantu labana babesilile baqoqana babagqibela abantu labana. Lami yikho ukusila kwami lami.
The government defended its actions, saying it had deployed the 5th Brigade to deal with dissidents, but it did not explain why women and children were being killed as well. For those in the system, they blamed every death on dissidents and not the army.
Khonapho ke madoda ikwelapho kwakulezi inkinga ke khonapho ngoba ekudingeni kwethu lava yazi kwakungekho clear ukuthi ezinye izinto zakhona ezazenzakala ukuthi yibo lava kumbe hayi, because I can tell you ukuthi kona kwezinye isikhathi kwakusiba nzima ukuthi kona yona linto enje ibizothiwa because umuntu uyabe elisotsha e-uniformed uyakwanisa ukuthi ayenza i-robbery so forth limthole limbambe, but it turns out no, imember ye-National Army akusiwo lawo ngathi kuzaphuma kuthiwa yiwo lawo. Then kwase kusithi ke kusenzakala ngaleyo ndlela sisebenza kanjalo ukuthi izikhathi sengizikhohlwa lezi nyanga nama leminyaka, but it was before 1985 yayisi dlulile North isibuya ePlumtree ngoba ngale yayenze ihalf kusasikudlela khona le mpela, but bathi sebebuya lapha ePlumtree one brigade la kulesile 1-2 la khona ePlumtree ebhesini la wazuthiwa kona kufuneka umuntu okhuluma isikhalanga. So I think ngaleso sikhathi kwakuyimi engikhona kuyunit le engikhuluma isikhalanga. Then kwase kuthiwa ke ngibuye ngapha ePlumtree ngasenze mina no, I can't go to Plumtree ngoba lapha enzalwa khona ngilabantu abaningi imali, so ngendlela engibona kusetshenzwa ngayo ngoba if you uma ungathi mina sisePlumtree khona ngale ngendlela engibona kusenziwa ngayo uza ubulala phela ubaba kumbe udadewethu kumbe umama, so mina bese ngisenze njani because kwesinye isikhathi ngiyabe ngikwazi ukuthi kakho kukhonokho andiyabona njengoba ngaleso sikhathi abantu babebotshwa bephonga ukubotshwa bebulawa abanye befakwe emajele and so forth. So ngisakhumbula ukuthi ngaleso sikhathi abantu sebegcwele emajele ngaba ngomunye owayefa because babe deployer 1 ZAC, 1 CID, 1 ZRP, 1 member ye-yellows near trying to black boots now. Support unit. All these security laws and organs. Kwakusele 1. Kwenzela ukuthi wena wena kwakusokudingakala ukuthi wena obopha umuntu mawubuye la usitshela ireason ukuthi uvele umbopheleni umthole senzani njengoba kwakusakhanya kwakudinga izibhamu uphonga ukutshona kugeje iganga lapho kungalalutho because uyabuchaya usenziwe obviously uyabusho ukuthi hayi khonapha ngoba ulashe izibhamu zangona awusabhadla uyabonga ukhomba lawe ngoba indlela kwakusenziwa ngayo kwakuzima.
The question is, was Gukurahundi a genocide?
We need to see this in the context of a culture of violence, where a party in power has instrumentalized the use of violence against defenseless citizens. Of course, we talk about it as just incidents, attacks, but these are actually crimes. The crimes of Gukurahundi were international crimes. What has never been done, people talk about people being burnt in hearts, women being raped, people being killed, people disappearing. But as a lawyer, I was always concerned about categorizing what was Gukurahundi. in terms of international law? What was it? Were these crimes against humanity? Were these war crimes? Was this genocide? There's a lot of debate. You say it was genocide. No, it wasn't genocide. It's not that all Shonas came to kill Ndebeles. Do you even understand what genocide is? You don't need every Shona to go and kill every Ndebele for it to be genocide. 5 people can commit a genocide. And 5 of them can be Ndebeles. They can commit a genocide against Ndebeles. So no. How was it genocide when Nkala was there? Do you even understand what genocide is? Before you start telling me that because Nkala was part of it, it was not genocide. You can kill your own people.
Gukurahundi, Shona for the first rains that wash away the chaff, was ostensibly for the political elimination of the Zimbabwe African People's Union, ZAPU. Yet it was, in reality, ethnic cleansing, ranking up there with the Rwanda genocide. It was state-sanctioned violence, whose ramifications continue to haunt the people of Matabeleland and Midlands to this very day. The victims need closure and answers, and both seem elusive as the perpetrators will not acknowledge the gruesome deaths of well over 20,000 people at the hands of a trained military brigade.
If there's one issue that needs to be solved in Zimbabwe, it is the issue of Gukurahundi. A lot of people were killed. Some disappeared. Women were raped. And one cannot understand why the government of Zimbabwe over the years has not taken time to listen to people's concerns, to try and help people find answers. Even up to today, we find young people who call us, asking us to look for their parents who disappeared, help them identify their parents because they have spiritual issues, or they were told that they will not have kids until they know who their father is. All these are issues that are real and that need to be solved. One hopes that in our lifetime, the issue of Gukurahundi will be solved and someone, somewhere, will be held accountable for what happened. And if you're out there and you have a story that you want to tell us about Gukurahundi, your own experiences, what happened to your family, if you have information that you want to share, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the organization is CITZW. You can always inbox us and we'll get in touch with you and listen to your story, and where necessary, record and share your experiences with other people. My name is Zanu PF. Have a good day.